The title to this story is They Were Screwed, where the co-conspirators went scot-free. The story I'm not going to tell is strictly my opinion. Um, but I did witness some of these things. That's why I'm finally going to talk about them. The people who were screwed were those baseball players who were accused of using performance enhancement drugs. The co-conspirators were the owners of the teams these players were on, the managers, the coaches, teammates, and the press corps. Now I'll tell you why I'm telling this story. I've been a lifetime New York Giants and San Francisco Giants fan. And I've had an occasion to follow the career of Barry Bonds for many, many years. Truly a great player. Even when he played with the Pittsburgh Pirates, he was an outstanding player. And he was traded to the New York Giants. And I saw many of the Giant games when he came to the Giants. And one day when I was at the ballpark with a friend of mine named Matt, Barry Bonds walked out of the dugout. I looked at him. We had box seats. I could see him very clearly. And my God, he looked like a monster. His whole body had changed. And I said to my friend Matt, whatever he's doing, whatever he's eating, I want to eat. Because my God, he looked like the Hulk. So across the bay in Oakland, I also watched the Oakland A's play many baseball games. And they had a great player named Jason Giambi. And Jason also one day walked out of the dugout. I had great seats again. And he too had bulked up. And again, I said to my friend Matt and I were always at these games together. I said, my God, whatever these guys are eating, I want to eat. Because they look like terrific physical specimens. And about this time, both Bonds and Giambi got into the home run swing. And the balls were flying out of the ballpark. At the same time, it was happening with a few other players, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire. Home runs was the name of the game in those days. And nobody said anything about it. What was the transformation? In the case of Bonds, the Giants had a new ballpark. And of course they wanted to fill the seats. And here is Barry hitting home runs on a regular basis. Well, a couple of years went by, and then a scandal broke. That Bonds, Giambi, and these other players were all using performance enhancement drugs. Well, I finally said, well, I'm not too shocked because I physically saw the transformation of the bodies of these players into these hulks. And now I know why they were hitting all these home runs. Lo and behold, an investigation began, and everybody is jumping on Bonds, Giambi, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, as if they're villains for using performance enhancement drugs. No, I'm not saying they were right in what they were doing. The whole thrust of this particular talk I'm giving is to show that the co-conspirators went scot-free. Now, who were the co-conspirators? The commissioner of baseball. He must have seen the transformation of these players physically. The team's owners saw it. The managers saw it. Their teammates saw it. The press box saw it. And nobody said anything. And yet my naked eye saw it. Something was going on. I just thought they were lifting more weights or working out more. I never thought about performance enhancement drugs. But they were all accused of using performance enhancement drugs. Some were severely punished financially. Their careers were ended. They were bad guys. Some of them had to appear before Congress to talk about this, talk about that. They were the bad guys. In my opinion, the bad guys was the commissioner of baseball, the owners of the teams, the managers of the teams, the players who played with these accused people. They're all guilty. They all kept silence. Why? Because the ballparks were being filled up. Fans were coming. They don't come to see single hitters, double hitters. They come to see home run hitters. And people like Bonds was providing all that enjoyment. And the reason I'm telling this story is that, in my opinion, yes, maybe the players were guilty, not guilty, they're just accused of using performance enhancement drugs. And some are severely penalized. And yet, the commissioner of baseball, the owners of these players, the managers, the coaches, teammates, and also the press corps said absolutely nothing. I am certain they saw with their eyes what I was seeing. This transformation of these players into Hulks, which gave them the strength to hit all these home runs. Now, ironically, since this scandal has broken, it appears that the performance enhancement drugs are no longer being used the way they were used before. And why is that? Because home run production has fallen off. And some people say because the pitching is better. That is not true. That is not true. Pitching is pitching. So I'm coming to the defense of the accused players. Yes, they may have used performance enhancing drugs. I personally saw their bodies transformed. I questioned what was going on. And yet, the owners, the commissioner of baseball, the coaches, the other players all stayed dumb because the parks were being full of spectators, buying tickets, buying other sports paraphernalia that go with these players. So I'm going to conclude this particular story, and I welcome any comments. I could talk forever about this situation. And what really is, what got me going on this was what's happened to Alex Rodriguez. The same thing has happened to Alex that happened to Bonds and these other players. All of a sudden, Alex became a superstar. And then word came out that he was taking drugs. And the owners said nothing. The players said nothing. Everybody just plays dumb. Because when Alex is having a great season, guess what? The stands are full of people buying tickets, making the owners wealthy, making the managers look good. Some teams got to the World Series, so the players got extra money. And the press corps, I think that they're really the guilty ones. They stayed silent through all of this episode where superstars became essentially superstars. I conclude this right now. But I want to say that if you have any comments, if you agree and don't agree, but I just want to get my opinion known. And what sparked this whole idea in my mind was what's happening to Alex Rodriguez. I think it's a shame to deprive a man of his livelihood. Okay, maybe he's guilty, maybe he's not, but also guilty of the people I mentioned, the owners, the managers, etc. Thank you very much.